Welcome back to the game. Today we got Danyal visuals.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
I was just gonna say filmographer, cinematographer, jack of all trades. Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Yeah, just give your resume. So what you do? Like, what
so
you
I'm
do
a photographer, filmmaker, but I like to call myself a creative.
Okay.
I don't want to categorize it in just photography and filmmaking because I direct and do things like that.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm a creative.
That's a creative, yeah. And just so people don't know, 20-year-old creative as well. 21. 21. Oh, it's getting older. It's getting older. Yeah. Now, so talk to me about it. How did it kind of begin? Like, what's the journey about it?
So it started when I was around the age of 13.
Okay.
That's when I first picked up a DSLR. But before that, I used to like play around with the family camera. Every Asian has a family camera in the household.
Yeah.
I guarantee that. So I used to like pick up that camera and just play around with it. And then I started gaining more passion for photography. Then I told my dad to get me a DSLR. And then I got the DSLR. And then from there, I started practicing more photography.
But like, so, you know, when you say practicing photography, how does that kind of work? Like, what, you just go on your own, watch a couple of YouTube videos and then...
I'll be honest, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. Like, if you go to my Watch Later playlist on my channel, there's at least probably like 6,000 videos. I'm not even lying.
Okay.
There's a lot of videos there
that
I used to watch. And then from there, I started gaining more passion for photography and started going out more and practicing.
Yeah. So talk to me about like you got a short film that's already out right now.
Yeah.
So you got
I've got a few short films.
Let's talk about the one where they're on the bridge. The Asian geezer and the
okay. Time in Band, yeah.
So talk to me about that. Like, we put a little clip up in it for the viewers and that now.
Yeah.
But you talk to me about it. Like,
so with that film, like with me, I like watching movies. Like I can never get bored of watching movies. I think I watched Spider-Man at least 6 times now.
Okay,
Because I just love the way they've shot Spider-Man and everything natural in the film.
Which Spider-Man?
The first one.
Oh, first ever one.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the
like
original.
I really like that film because the shop that they used for the pizza shop is still a running shop. It's a family shop.
Yeah.
And the way they put it in the film was just amazing to me, like how they're using normal places like that. And then just movies like that. And then the Time Inbound, I think it was the movie Superbad. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That movie, that inspired
Jonah
me.
Hill and
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like that inspired me to create something like that.
Okay.
And it's still ongoing. Like the movie ain't done. That was like a teaser kind of thing. I think with that movie, it might take months to like do that kind of style.
So how did it work? So even with the teaser, let's talk about the teaser. So in terms of the script, like how did it work? Like, because you know what everyone else would think, you just put the camera on, record, and then just do it. Like, so obviously there's a method to madness. So like, how did you kind of that work?
So with me, like I write down in my notes. I'll be honest, like I don't like write a whole script or anything like that. Like I've got a synopsis of what I want to do. Then I go there, speak to the actor about it, and then we practice it beforehand. Then I'll get recording, and then from there I edit it. But the main reason the film becomes a film is the audio, the visuals, and the sound effects, I think.
Okay.
And what you put in front of the camera, I think that's the main impact of it.
So break down the audio, sound effects, and what was the last one?
Visuals.
Visual, yeah. So is that order correct? As in audio first?
It doesn't. It depends on the filmmaker and depends on what your subjective is, like what you want to aim with the film. Like let's say there's a scene where someone wants to portray they're going back to their childhood family home or something. You want to portray sound, like might be a sound of a certain bird, might be a sound of a kettle running in the back, things like that.
Yeah.
Just to bring that memory back into the film. That's how you could use sound effects, for example. And with music, that's the biggest impact in my opinion. Like if you use the right music, you can portray a certain emotion in the film.
So is that what carries for you in terms of emotion? Because when I look at it, like let's take Oppenheimer for example.
Yeah.
You know about sound effects. That Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah.
His audio, his playlist, basically the whole movie.
I love it. To be honest, Oppenheimer, I wasn't going to watch it at first. And my uncle booked the ticket. I'm like, you know what, I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm there in the cinema seat, staring at it like a fan. Like the way they done the movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Christopher Nolan. Like
obviously, he's the best of the best.
And the way he done the movie was amazing. Like, I just started more interested into how he does it and how it was done.
But you know what I liked in it? Like, I'm overthinking anyway. Like, people who watch the podcast know that.
Yeah.
Like, I overthink everything. But you know, like when I was watching, I was thinking like every scene is taught out. Like, you know, like when you watch some movies and you think like they just put the camera there and then just let it flow. Like, you know, like Superbad, for example, like some of that, most of it's off the shoulder.
Yeah,
it's
more like a...
Like vloggy kind of style.
Yeah, like a vlog kind of style.
Yeah, like the camera, no effects, nothing.
Yeah.
Just record it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's quite simple in that sense, but that's a comedy movie. But with Oppenheimer, you feel like every scene,
every shot has an intention behind it.
Yeah. Like, he wants you to feel something from every single one.
And the crazy thing is, Christopher Nolan doesn't like using any CGI.
Yeah.
And he wanted to use a real atomic bomb, I think, for this. But obviously, you can't
Yeah,
do that.
exactly. But the
he wanted to
mimicry,
do that. Yeah, the mimicry.
close as they can. Yeah,
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And you
amazing
know,
how they shot that.
second,
It's amazing how they shot that film. It's really good.
like for example, even the scene where the bomb's going off.
Yeah.
You know, when they were testing the final one, and then he's standing there,
and he's overlooking it.
Yeah, and then he goes off in the background.
You know what the funny thing is? People are saying, why did I think, was it the light that came first, or was it the sound? It was the sound that came first, then the effect.
Yeah.
Because no, it was the light, I think. Light travels faster than sound.
Yeah. So
first it was the impact of the bomb.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And then the sound came after. But the way they portrayed the sound, people would expect, everyone panicking in the back and the sound effects of that. But they've done it very subtly. They've done it very silently.
Yeah.
The bomb releasing and everyone was silent.
That's intense. Intense.
They've done it almost in a way where they wanted to isolate all the sound and just use the bomb.
Yeah.
To show the power of it. And how it affected everyone.
Yeah. And plus, like, it carried through. Like, so, you know, like, they flipped the script.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, when you expect something to happen, they've done the opposite.
Yeah,
to give you the bigger reaction.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird like that. Like, you know, like, it's so hard to do. Like, you know, people, like, you gotta understand the nuance, like, where you're on about there with the light traveling faster than sound.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you hear it, like, you're expecting it. Your body's expecting to hear something.
Yeah.
Then you don't hear nothing.
Yeah,
then
they're triggering your actual senses. That's what they're doing in the film.
Yeah.
And that's how makes it stand out.
Even when Robert Downey Jr. come in, you know, with the black and white, you show that it's, what was it?
I think I might be wrong, but I think the present scenes were shot in black and white.
Yeah.
And the past scenes were shot in color, which is something different.
Yeah.
Usually the past scenes are shot in black and white.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes to that thing again where it's flipping the script.
Yeah,
so it gives you a bigger reaction.
Yeah, like there's certain movies that were shot in a sequence of finishing and the middle and then the beginning. They put the beginning at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Which makes it different.
Yeah, exactly. Christopher Nolan does that all the time. Like, as in, like, you're there for 3 hours. Like, I remember, like, us was saying that there's a bit interval or whatever. So we were thinking, get the popcorn then.
Yeah.
Bro, we were there for 3 hours. Like, no interval, nothing.
Interesting. It puts you on the edge of the seat. Like,
exactly.
On the edge of the seat.
And it's like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
It's constant. Like, there's no, like, letting go.
Just go with everything behind it. Like, I think there was a scene where I think Oppenheimer was talking about the bomb, how they used it. I think in Japan, was it?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, they used it there. And then there was a scene where the girl's face was getting torn apart.
Yeah.
And her skull was showing.
Yeah.
That was in Oppenheimer's perspective, and he was thinking
the
effect is caused.
Yeah.
And what the crazy thing is,
clapping at the same time.
That was his daughter.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's daughter was in that. That was his daughter.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he wanted to portray how it really felt.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know like the consequences of what he's done.
Yeah, it's like an English language exam, innit? Like, you know how them one.
Yeah, you have to analyze everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but he's wicked at that. So how do you kind of like? So what's your flow? Like,
to be honest,
you mentioned to me like off camera, like it's emotion that kind of you through.
My filmmaking, I'm not the guy who like plans everything. Like, I'm the filmmaker who just have a short background of what I want to do. Like, could be the framing, the character. How is the character going to act in a certain way? Why is he going to act in that way? What's the framing like? Where's the location? All these things matter to me. But I don't pre-plan all the time. With the film, I like have a short synopsis and I write a small script with just the dialogue at least, and then from there I take it from there, and then from there I can color grade it, use the right music to the right sound effects and what emotion I want to portray with it.
But you mentioned off camera that you do more with the music first.
Yeah.
And how do I feel with the music? Then so explain to me that first, and then I'll tell you like my perspective on it.
So what I do is I listen to the music beforehand. Like, I get a short idea of what film I want to create.
Yeah.
But then the scenes are planned according to what music I listen to. So I might listen to a certain song and then I'm like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. Then I go on the suggested. And
when you say song, you're on about like
the music,
instrumentals, isn't it?
Yeah, instrumental. So it might be a certain song as well. You never know. Like, but mainly it's music. Like, could be orchestra music. I really like orchestra music. I find it passionate. I find a huge passion for that. Okay, so what I do is I listen to orchestral music, or even like music that's cinematic. Like, I have a thing called epidemic sound that I use.
Yeah.
And I listen to the music, then I plan the script according to that music and what I feel in that certain time.
Yeah. So how did you work? So you know with the documentaries and stuff, is it all an impulse, or is there like a method to what you're actually trying to get at in terms of like, because you got like, I want to say 5 documentaries on the channel.
Yeah, I think around 5-6 documentaries.
Yeah, 5-6.
But the funny thing is, people don't know that the documentaries I'm doing now, I used to do beforehand. Like, I used to interview my uncles on Eid, for example. Like,
like
I used to do like that. Yeah, when I was 13 and I bought my camera for the first time.
Yeah.
I interviewed everyone in my family, like asked them questions about Eid and how the Qurbani and how they feel and things like that. And I placed it together and called it a documentary. But I ain't going to post it anyway, obviously. It's family, but that,
no,
that
but like
was,
you were like testing
that's
your
where I
skills.
started.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the documentaries is on YouTube. I did it with my local mosque.
Okay.
I think I was 14 at the time or 15.
I think I've seen that one.
It was a documentary about Eid and the prayer and the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that up.
And I'm the opposite. So I like have visualizations of it.
Yeah.
So you know, if I'm doing like a video or a documentary or like anything of that nature,
creative,
anything creative, like I think of like this is gonna happen here. Like I take it off other pieces.
Okay.
So you know, like films I've seen or like videos, it's just all up here. Like even when I'm doing my work, like it just comes from my head. So you know, like I visualize it. Really kind of begin because obviously as an Asian as well, especially like because people don't really realize that you're young, man.
Yeah.
Like you're just a kid in the game really, but you've had years of experience.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of start, especially like in Birmingham, especially where we're from? Most man think like, oh, your cameraman, forget that. Like it's too much or like it's too expensive. This that.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of begin?
Like a photographer, creative, and just create content. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. How did that start? Because obviously we don't see many Asian, especially from Birmingham, that do videography, content creation, all of that. Started how the journey began.
So it started when I was around, I'd say the age of 13, and I was really interested in movies, always watching behind the scenes of how movies were made. Then out of nowhere, I just got like a GoPro kind of camera. It wasn't actually a GoPro. It was like a knockoff GoPro. So
okay.
I think it even shot like 240p. So it wasn't that higher quality.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like the start of my career. That's how I saw it. Now I'm seeing it now. But then I was going around recording things. I used to go to the beach like 2 times a year. I used to record that as well because it was waterproof as well. So that's the technical side of how I started. But in general, when I was 13, that's when I started photography.
Why just like what hobby and that?
It was a hobby, like you know how people used to play games and like PS4 and that. That was me. I didn't like playing games.
Nah.
I probably used to play like Halo because it was there on the Xbox. That's it. I played like 2 times, and after that I was like, you know what? It's not really interested. I'm not. I don't play games and things like that.
So what you just said, what like to your dad or what, or your brother?
Now just in general. So like I used to watch a lot of YouTube. That's one thing I realized now. So YouTube was what I used to watch all the time, and movies as well. So with the camera stuff, I was more interested in behind the scenes and looking at how they used to do green screen, things like that. Yeah, that's what made me like get more into it.
Yeah. Now there's one thing like learning about it, and there's another thing like, you know what, I'm actually gonna do this and
I used to watch a lot of Steven Spielberg films, so like Jurassic World, The Goonies, movies like that. So then I used to scare my cousins and we used to gather around and create short films for fun. Okay. And even funny enough, you heard of Alan Walker? The one who made the song Faded. So I used to, his music videos, cinematic. Everyone looks at them. He's got a production team behind that. And the way they do with the visual effects for everything. So I even learned After Effects because of that. Okay. And I got a video on my YouTube channel using one of his songs. And I got my cousins. We done like a cinematic kind of reel to the music. And I done an effect to the eye where it's like a robotic effect in After Effects. Okay. So from that was like, I'd say 2 years after I had the camera. And I used to use the camera just for filmmaking and photography. It was a photo camera, so I used to use that for both. And from there, it was mainly like, how do I portray certain emotions using a certain lens? How do you get this look? So I went from a kit lens to a 50mm lens, and my dad got that for me. And that's when I started to see I had a passion for it. So I used to test out a lot. I remember first using it and seeing like this blurry background with the subject, like how it isolates them from each other. And I'm thinking, you can achieve that with this lens. Like imagine what you could achieve with the other lenses. That's how really got me more into photography. Where did that thing come from? Like that mentality you think of like, I know this, but that does that, like, like piecing together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy for a lot of people where like, see how you just said it there, like, look, I started on this and then I wanted to move on to this because I thought this will do better here, or this look will create that effect. Like all this. How did that kind of come about? Because like, you're not taught that at school, innit? That's something you pick up yourself, innit? So how did you kind of like build up them skills? Funny enough, I was on YouTube and I used to watch a lot of YouTube too. It was a bad habit. I'm looking at it now, like I used to be on my phone a lot. Watching YouTube a lot. And if you go on my watch later list, I've got thousands of videos on photography. So when I was like 14, I used to watch every like hour. When I wake up, I used to wake up, it's just watching videos again and again. And with the videos, it's mainly like photography, creative photography, Photoshop tutorials, and 2 minutes. Like I used to watch videos where the tutorial was 15 minutes long, and then someone could do it in 2 minutes. I'm like, why should I watch the 15-minute when someone could do it in 2 minutes? So with that, it was like video upon video. And the main thing with that was watching the video, and another thing was taking action. So when you're watching the video, like you're learning these things, but there's no good just watching.
Yeah.
Just sit there.
You're putting action in
Yeah.
it.
So I used to watch these videos, and then like autumn photography, creative photography, things like that. And I used to watch them videos and just go out and practice from the videos.
You became an obsession in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I realized with a lot of people that come on the podcast. Doesn't matter like if they're in business or like they're a doctor or they're in education or they're in teaching or they're in videography or creative like yourself. Innit? Like the one thing is they're obsessed. That there's a passion behind what they're doing.
So and discipline there already.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, you know, because you like it. And if you like it, then you're thinking, I'm just going to do it anyway. You don't think about like, oh, I can't be asked today or this, that, because you like it. If you like something, you just carry on doing it.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how come there wasn't like a thing of like, oh, there's no career opportunities in this for me, or like, there's, you know, like that old stereotype, like especially with Asian families and that, because we're from the similar environments, and you're from Ashton, I'm from Erdington, and Allen Rock. So it's kind of like, it's like a stereotype, innit? Like, oh, there's no career in it, innit? So stop doing it, like kind of thing, innit? So how come you kind of like carried on and then made into a career? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Funny, like no one could have told you. You could have just told yourself, like, oh, there's no career, like, oh, CBA, like.
Yeah. Funny enough, when I was looking at it as a career, I got told by a lot of people saying you can't be turned into a career. Like, they're gonna pick a white person over you.
Yeah, exactly.
Companies and things like that. Like I've been told that, and I don't blame the people because obviously they're thinking in that way. Like no one's ever done photography in my family like that. Yeah, they
think it's safe, innit?
Yeah, so as a career, like people would be thinking that's strange. Like, well, how can you do photography as a career? So that's what they were thinking at the time.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to get into a career with that, I got my first booking through Shapak.
Okay.
Funny enough.
Okay.
So I put a listing on a cheap photography package, something like that. There's a video and photo, and I got my first booking at 15. And I charge £100 for like a few hours shoot.
Okay.
So that was my first ever booking, and it was through Shapak.
So one thing, I got a question there. Well, I got two questions, but the first one is, so you know when everyone's telling you, forget it, innit? Like you're 14, 15 at this time, innit? So you've had 1 year experience, innit?
Yeah.
They're saying to you, look, there's no career in this, forget it. You could have easily been like, all right, the elders are telling me, forget it, I'm gonna forget it. Yeah, but you decided to flick upload your work and say, look, I want a job in it.
Yeah.
So like, where did that shift come from? Like, where did that mentality come from?
So that mentality, I was like, you know what? Anyone can do anything. Like if you put your mind to it, you can do it. It's simple as that. There's one thing saying it, and when you actually believe it, you got that force of power within you to continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
So from that, what I was thinking was, I need to build my portfolio now.
Yeah.
So I used to get photos of portraits, post on my Instagram every day at 9 p.m, 8 p.m. I used to post every single day.
Okay.
Go on Google, find hashtags. And from there, like, I slowly built my portfolio, and I got bookings with clothing brands, with basically like a bit of everything. So with the bookings, how I got them mainly was posting my work every day.
Yeah. Where did the idea come from? To post and build a portfolio and tell people like who you are?
Like, I was told from people in the same field on Instagram. So I used to connect with a lot of photographers online.
Okay, yeah.
And
how did that happen?
So
you just message them like that?
Yeah, I used to like go on photography hashtag and like posts a lot.
Okay.
And then the other photographers used to like my post back, and we used to follow each other. I'm thinking that, wow, that's like a good way to engage with people.
Yeah.
And then from there, like, I wasn't that social back then.
Yeah.
So I used to be like, do photography, go home and edit and post.
Yeah.
And mainly I used to just talk to people online, on Instagram with photographers. And they used to say, post every day, connect with businesses, and that's the way you're going to get bookings. And another thing they said is do word of mouth as well.
Now, word of mouth is most
That's
important,
most important.
Yeah, especially in sales and, you know, like anything like private. So like you're not an actual like fortified business. Like you're not like I don't know, Wex photo video. Like you know, having a geezer that does it because they're thinking like that's with the corporation. If it's you on your own, you gotta have that word of mouth. That's how you mostly get the bookings. Innit?
That's true.
But you know that on that connecting thing, innit? Like most people can't even send a message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, how did that come? Like, where's that confidence coming from? Innit? You know what I mean? Like
so with that, I was like,
Because like, if anyone saw you on the road, they think like this guy got no confidence. You know what I mean? Like that stereotype, innit? But you got more confidence than anyone I know.
Yeah.
Like where did that come from at 13 to say, look, I'm gonna message this geezer. You never know him. Could be the other side of the world and say, oh, I need some advice on photography and all that.
Yeah. So that came through watching videos of Casey Neistat.
Okay.
Where he was vlogging, doing these crazy things, like going around, like proving points. Like there was a video where he spoke about the roads in New York being blocked, and like how, you know, they have like a bike lane where if you like don't go in that, you're gonna get fined. If you're riding a bike and don't go through that. And there was a video where he's showing that there's trucks parked there, there's bins in the way, and he's purposely crashing into them in the video.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, like, if he's proving a point and he's going out there completing his dreams.
Mm.
And there's one video where he talked about, the video where he speaks about filmmaking and how his family said he can't make a career out of it. And then they're saying that he won't have enough money to be a filmmaker. And people don't know, people do know, but like, if you go more into his videos, he used to wash the dishes as well at the start.
Okay.
That was his career at one point.
Okay.
Washing dishes. So
yeah.
From that to YouTube, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Why can't other people do it?
Mm.
And so with that, the main reason was to continue, was to just prove to people and prove to myself that, you know what, photography
I
is
can do
possible as a career and you can do it.
Mm.
But the main reason was to prove myself, like, if I don't do it, I would feel depressed. I'd let myself down.
Yeah.
So if I can't do that in life, I can't do anything else.
Mm. Yeah, like, you know what I find in it, you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable in it. Like, you can't look back at 70 years old in it, and then you know, like, when you look back at your life and that, like, inshallah you get there.
Inshallah,
when you're 70 in it, you're on your rocking chair,
yeah,
and you're looking back in it with a glass of coke or whatever, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I should have done this. I wish I'd done this. Yeah. Then, like, you know, that regret, that's a madness.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, everyone has a dream. The reason you're born is to do something in life.
Yeah.
And obviously there's other
everyone got passion
as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a passion behind something. Everyone knows what the passion is, but they're not confident to do it.
Yeah.
They feel like they're not made for it. The thing is, realistically, no one's made for anything. You have to build your way to it. You have to work your way to that passion, to that dream. You have to perfect your craft. And whatever you want to get into, you can do it. And some people might think that it's too late for them when it's not. It's not late, because when you look at certain people like KFC, and Colonel Sanders, like, he started at a really old age, and looks gone worldwide.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's one example.
Same with Margaret on my TikTok all the time now. You know, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
His first big acting role came when he was 43. Yeah, before that was a carpenter. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like 43, bro.
You can achieve a dream at any age.
Exactly. And you know, people think 43 is old, innit? Well, most people die around 80, roughly. Yeah, so half that 40 is 50% of your life. Like, where we are right now, we're not even 25%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, talk to me about the school experiences and that, because obviously we talked off camera.
Yeah.
But like, for the people, like.
So when I was in year 9, I had a letter through the door, and it was a letter about a new school I could go to. I was thinking I was special, but everyone got the letter. Now I'm looking back at it, it was a marketing technique.
Yeah.
And they done.
Done you over.
Yeah, done me over. So I was like, you know, I signed up the application, like, I'm going to this school.
Yeah.
So imagine, my school was 2 minutes away from me. So it doesn't matter if I get a plate, I could jog to school and I'll still be there on time. So from that transition to going to waking up 7 a.m, catching one bus. It was one bus, so it took like 15 minutes to get to that school. And then going to the school, like, I found it depressing. Like, it affected me. Like, I used to get up a bit late. Like, I still used to get up early for the school that was close to me. But it was a different experience. Like, everyone, my friends were there. Like, I was leaving my friends.
Yeah.
Just a new journey for me. Like, I'm looking back at it.
Why change?
I just felt like that school and that environment, it limited me. Like, I couldn't grow.
No, I'm saying before that. So before you got to the school, like, why change anyway? Because you're happy where you were.
And I just felt like it was a new experience for me. Like, getting a bus.
Yeah.
So it'd feel nice, like, going a bit further out to school. And the school is like near city centre as well, so around town. And then that's the way I thought of it.
Yeah.
So when I joined school, I kind of missed my friends and I was getting a bit depressed as well.
Okay.
The environment changed and the school was smaller, more dull, and the people there were just lunatics as well. Like, the way they behaved. Like, I was like shocked. Like, why is the school like this? The way I expected it was different to how it is. Like, I remember the induction day, I was nervous as well. And then I was thinking, could I change it? I'm like, nah, I can't change schools now. Then I could have, but I didn't.
Yeah, you made a decision.
Yeah. It's the final decision. And funny enough, when I was in year 10, I wanted to go back to my old school. My dad spoke to the teacher, and the teacher said he can't come back. So that was another thing. And then I didn't go to school for a few months.
Okay.
To the point where I was actually depressed and anxious. I had anxiety. I was thinking about my future, about filmmaking, photography. I don't think I used to post anymore. Like, there was a point where I stopped posting on Instagram as well. And that was the downfall. And then before that, there was one of my biology teachers. We had like a session where we spoke about what do you want to be in the future, what do you want to become, or a filmmaker. And then they were like, the teacher said, what are you doing in the school? Like, you can't be a filmmaker if you're in the school.
Okay. Because it's an engineering school.
Yeah, it was an engineering school. And I'm thinking, wow, the teacher said that. The teacher's supposed to be motivating the student.
Yeah.
And then the whole day I was deeping it. And then it just hit me like, I got anxiety from that. Like, what am I doing in the school? I'm not going to get followed. There's people out there.
You found a place in it.
Yeah. There's people out there who are studying media and people in this school are studying engineering. Like I'm in the wrong school and I can't change it. It's too late.
Yeah.
So then from that stemmed my anxiety as well. And there's other things in school as well that happen. And the environment, I didn't really like. The environment made me nervous. That really made me nervous. And getting up even more earlier as well, not having that full sleep. I used to sleep late a lot as well back then.
Because obviously you're filmmaking as well.
That affected it a lot.
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons that.
And also I think it's the fact that especially at that age, innit, like you're growing up as well, innit?
Yeah.
So it's kind of all happening at once.
Your mind's all over the place.
Yeah. And plus, like, and where did that kind of inspiration come from? So how did you kind of bounce back from the anxiety and kind of make something?
So the way I bounced back was I had a main YouTube channel. I had a separate one where I posted videos and no one knew about.
Okay.
Now my family knew about it. I think I didn't even tell them.
Yeah.
So I used to post on that, and my videos are cringe. I can't even lie. Like looking back at it.
Yeah. While like funny. You on the camera and all that.
Yeah, I was in the camera talking about like photography, and there's shots of me wearing my hoodie, walking.
Okay.
Like, it looks cinematic and that.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, it was funny. I'm looking for that video. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah.
Post it one day on my actual main channel.
So how did that kind of happen then? So you talk to me about that journey from dealing with anxiety at school and don't want to be there to putting yourself on camera. Like, how does that work? Like,
so the way I thought
of it, extreme, didn't
it? Yeah. So I was thinking, if I'm in school and if I'm out of school not doing nothing, I'm sitting at home depressed. I was in my bed. I didn't even go out. I couldn't even step out of my house.
Okay.
That's how bad my anxiety was.
Yeah.
Like everything was affecting me then. My anxiety was that bad. So there was a point where like I was like, you know what, YouTube is fun. Like it looks fun. Let me try it out. Let me see what it's like.
Yeah.
Even like seeing subscribers come in when people like get subscribers. Like I'm thinking if that happened to be, I'd get excited and I'd carry on doing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just try to step into that path of career doing YouTube.
Yeah. Now there's one thing saying, another thing doing it.
Yeah.
So you know how you just said there. Yeah. It's a good thought in it. How do you turn that into action? Like, so where did that confidence come from?
So with that confidence, it was like I'm not going to show anyone on the YouTube channel.
Okay,
that's
so just like me on my own kind of
thing. That's how I was confident. I was like, whoever it reaches, it's going to reach them. They're going to see that side of me. They're going to see that side where I'm like, I'm a YouTuber and I've got anxiety. Like, I thought I was going to reach that audience.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't tell anyone.
Put a character on it.
Yeah,
okay.
No, not like put a character, but like be kind of vulnerable for people and with that, show them that what I was going through. And obviously showcase that to photography and filmmaking as well. So that's what I want to do.
Okay, so instead of saying it out loud, you kind of like show it through the journey and the narrative.
Yeah, showcase like this photography is like therapy to me.
Yeah.
Like I find it relaxing, things like that. And then from there, like my anxiety was bad. I couldn't even. Whenever I spoke to people, I looked down. I couldn't even look up and look at them.
Okay, yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then when it was like from that stage, there was a year, 2 years later. I'm like, you know what? No one's gonna be confident for me. I have to be confident myself. Like, well, why should I sit down and be depressed and anxious? That was like when I left school, I was happy. That was the happiest day of my life. When I left school, that was the happiest day of my life. Like, I remember, like, after I left school, I stayed at home for a few months. Then I went back into school, but I wasn't in the main classes. So I was in a separate room, like studying, and like I was chilling basically. In school, so I was chilling. I was revising. I went like 2 months before GCSE, or I think 3 months before GCSEs.
Okay.
So I was there revising like all day, revising. And I can't lie, that it was kind of fun getting back into a routine. But I didn't like the main class. I just didn't like the environment.
Yeah.
Because it was quite dull, boring, and
you just wasn't your cup of tea.
It wasn't like the way it was. Just I didn't like. I couldn't study properly there in that environment as well.
Yeah.
So when I was in like, it was like a separate room, not like isolation, but it was like they had a separate like place where people could just study. And it's a more quiet room to study and things like that. So I was there like studying, revising. And once I left school, I'm like, you know what? Now's my time to like put all my energy into photography and filmmaking, like start posting more consistently as well. And from there, like I started getting more into filmmaking again, like building my career.
And then the client base come and then you kind of just took off in it.
Yeah.
So what's next? Like what's the future looking like? The
future.
Yeah.
Okay, so the future, business wise, I want to launch a production company. I've got the name in the back of my head. I've got the name. I'm going to register it as well, but I've got another page called Bougie Portraits. So that is going to be mainly for events. I want to aim for that vintage classic photography. So like, you know, when you look back at old photos, you'd be like, whoa, that looks different to today's day and age.
Yeah.
That's what I want to achieve for people.
Okay.
For birthday.
Like a throwback thing.
Yeah, like for birthday shoots, like a vintage look. So I want to aim for that and make it look classy, have my certain look with the color grade. I want to get high-end clients through that page.
Yeah.
So it's called Bougie Portraits. I just told
you. How did that name come about?
So I was thinking with my Danyal Visuals page, that's mainly for YouTube, to be honest. I do get clients on that. That's mainly for YouTube, my own stories, for my own short films.
Oh, you want to separate you?
Yeah, I want to keep that separate.
So keep you make it clear. Like exactly what it is.
And And then with bougie portraits, mainly just photos.
Mm.
People can DM book. I get the work done and send it to them done.
Why? What the name? BG Portraits.
I think it sounds catchy. Like you're gonna book from bougie portraits. Like sounds good. Like you already think of the name. You think the work's gonna look good.
Yeah.
So if they look at their work, they'll be like, yo, that matches the name.
And plus, if it's for parties and events and all that, like
it goes
usually like portraits. Yeah.
And with that, I want to like have like an event package.
Okay.
In the future, so where we could provide like you know how you have like a setup with food. I want everything in house for them, so it's easier for them. That's the future plan with that. So that's the way I think I could stand out with that. There are companies out there that do that, but with this one, I'm even thinking like the way I think about it, I want to get creative with it. Like everything's boring nowadays. When I see it, back in the day, everything was vivid. There's more color with everything.
Yeah.
Like now, everything's gone bland.
Yeah.
Even McDonald's, like the way they've designed it, the colors are neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's gone bland. So with
this
factory
brand, settings, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. With this brand like bougie portraits, I want to create like a disposable camera kit.
Okay.
For people to use.
Yeah, like Polaroid.
Yeah. So in a certain way, I want to do it. So like kind of like it's like a camera but I could provide it to the party scene. So like when I send it to them, they give it back to me and I develop it for them and send it off to them.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where like some people, they might even be awkward with the photographer being there.
Yeah.
So that's where that can come in.
Yeah.
You have disposable cameras there.
Yeah.
I'll have my branding on there, everything, and then they can take the photos, give it back to us, we develop it and send it to them. So they can have their own creative experience with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe everyone's creative in their own way. Like the photographer's creative as well, but we can't 100% reach the vision that you might want. We can in some ways, but there's certain ways that you want to
that'll only come from you, innit? What you actually want.
Yeah, exactly. But whenever someone has a camera in their hand, there's a photo every single time. Different photo every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And a different narrative, a different feeling, a different vibe. Yeah. Now inshallah we'll see how it goes.
That's my business goal with that. And I want to open I've kind of launched a production company, video production company. I want to get into creative advertising. So I want high-end clients because I believe that my skill levels are there now to do that. And with that, I want to get into, to be honest, weddings. I wouldn't do yet. I'll probably do in a couple of years because I'm not gonna lie, I did have a few weddings like last year and nikah shoot as well. So that was kind of a headache. I'm not gonna lie. So there was certain things that happened with that shoot where it was like, it's stressful. Capturing it, and there was a point where I done the photography and photo, and I realized I can't do both at the same time. That was a headache.
Photography and video.
Yeah. For a wedding shoot, car shoot. Sorry. So with that, I'm gonna go slow with that. I don't want to do that as much yet. I wouldn't mind doing photography, like pre-wedding shoots. That's what I want to do right now. Because I know that's gonna be calm for me. It's gonna be like the couple are gonna be there. I'm gonna be there doing my job. We're gonna call it a day. That's it. I'm gonna go there, edit the content. They're gonna be happy.
Especially at nikah shoot, innit? Like,
it's stressful.
Everyone's saying, "I'll get a photo of me, get this."
It's stressful.
Get this.
People don't listen. That's what I realized as well. People do not listen with nikah shoots and wedding shoots. When you're doing it, like you say, people get off the stage. There's always a kid running around on stage.
Exactly.
That's the funny part. Like I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe it's only for this wedding. Second wedding, third wedding, it happened with every single wedding. There's a kid running across the stage.
But sometimes when people wear suits and like they'll dress sharp and they think like they're above everyone, like, you know what I mean? Everyone gets a big ego. Extra confidence. And
they don't listen to the photographer. Then they complain when they see the images and someone's blinking in there and the shots all over the place.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm gonna take it a bit slow, but I will take pre-wedding shoots. I will do nikah shoots here and there. Don't get me wrong, and pre-wedding shoots, but not like actual weddings. Not
yet. And inshallah, we'll catch up in a couple of years' time and see what Danyal videos got up to, and you get me.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime, bro.